A blessed day to you, and today's benefit is lust, a fire that wipes out. Job 31 verses 11 and 12, New Living Translation. For lust is a shameful sin, a crime that should be punished. It is a fire that burns all the way to hell. It will wipe out everything I own. Job made a comment in our last meditation which was mentioned in passing, but I couldn't just overlook it, and that is the subject of lust. Lust is a strong and uncontrollable desire for something you don't have, but you desire to have it by all means, not minding the cost. Job amplified another perspective of lust in our text today. His perspective is a serious red flag about lust. These are: 1. It is a shameful thing. 2. It is a crime. 3. It is a fire that burns to hell. And 4. It can devour all assets. These are deep things and heavy consequences that Job mentioned here. I would like to tie this up with one of the most popular verses about lust in the scriptures, and that is 1 John chapter 2, verse 15 to 17, New King James Version. Do not love the world or the things in the world. If anyone loves the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life, is not of the Father, but is of the world. And the world is passing away, and the lust of it, but he who does the will of God abides forever. In John's perspective, lust is an element contained in the world that brings us to love the world. He outlined that the world has 3 elements: lust of the flesh, lust of the eyes, and the pride of life, which is inseparable from the 2 forms of lust. John is calling us to be sensitive and consciously guide against it, else we get captured by it. The consequences he mentioned are: lust cuts you away from the love of the Father, ties you to the world, and makes you pass away with the world. That is eternal consequences. Where can lust be manifested in our lives? Through inordinate affection for sex, unquenchable desire for money and wealth, crave for power and fame, unsatisfying longing for fashion, food, and so on. It is important for us to know that it is not wrong to desire something, but when a desire takes control of you and you cannot choose to have it or not, then it is going out of hand. You need to evaluate if your desire is for personal pride or satisfaction. We must always check with God if it is a thing that is desirable to do His will. When a man's desire for something becomes uncontrollable, your strength and spiritual defense become weakened, and the devil takes advantage to rob you of valuable virtue or life assets. The craving for quick riches in our generation is something else, which is all over the social media pages. On several occasions, people have fallen into mischief that has taken away their life investments because of lust. Lust will keep you away from seeing the traps that are around the opportunities being dangled around you. Examples of people that suffer the consequences of lust as pictured by Job and John are Judas and Esau. Judas' love for money was the root to his betraying Jesus for 30 pieces of silver to carry eternal consequence. Esau, on the other hand, could not say no to his appetite for food, to the extent that he exchanged his birthright for 1 plate of food without having a second thought. What shall we say about King David, who lusted after Bathsheba? This brought trouble for him and terrific judgment upon his entire household till today. Beloved, no man receives anything except it is given from above. Any desire that pressurizes you and puts you under control is something to run away from, however precious it looks. Eve would have wished she did otherwise. So Lord, help us to win this war of lust, fueled by our desire and taste for good things. May we not fall into the traps, in Jesus' name. Amen. Thanks, and enjoy today's benefits.